Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, staff. Good morning, Principal SpongeBob. Thank you, Principal SpongeBob, for the opportunity to provide some feedback to our colleagues, and hopefully some of them can learn something from our experience. So Miss Annabella and I took our grade 9 learners to the planetarium on Friday. They had so much fun exploring, seeing the relationship between the planets, of how big they are in relationship to each other. They couldn't actually fit the life-size planets in there, but they could see how small Earth is in relationship to Jupiter. We watched in the dome the video of a star's life cycle, which we will be talking about in class as the term continues. The learners could see how the sun fits into the star life cycle, where the sun is currently. Some of them did not know that the sun was a star as well, which is not that concerning. We'll get to that when we get to the content as well. We had a minor incident with Luke, but he is okay. He's not at school today as it was a head injury, but we'll get to that later on. He is okay. Here is a photograph of our learners with the guide and the solar system in the background. There was a lot of experiment-based inquiry stuff that they could do, see how planets are formed, which planets is still part of the solar system, why Pluto is not part of the solar system anymore. The kids were a little bit naughty at first, but as soon as the great staff from the planetarium stepped in, the kids were quiet, as the dome is a quiet zone, no flashing of phones. So we started with our implementing in school of the no phones ban. The kids were complicit with that rule. No phones were out. They enjoyed the show. They were quiet in the show. Some of the boys tried to make noise, but as soon as Miss Annabella just looked at them, they quieted down. Here's another photo of the kids. This is in a simulation lab where they could see the earth, see some of the mountain ranges, which I think could be beneficial in their geography going forward. We had our buses was on time. Thank you, our admin staff, for arranging our buses. The kids did not try to climb out of the windows this time around. They were seated in their seats, playing their music as always. Music was somewhat okay-ish. They played their songs and the song that they wanted to. They had fun, so they were dancing and singing and seeing. That was very great. They asking questions. Super great having the buses on time. Thank you for our bus driver. He was very kind. He stated all the rules that need to be followed in the bus. The kids did comply with all those rules. So unfortunately, Luke Roberts in 9A got hurt because he was running in the hallway after the staff told them explicitly not to run in the hallway, as it's new construction, as the floors have not been worn in. It is slippery. Luke and some of the other boys did run because they were excited or playing. I'm not quite sure what happened, but they were running and Luke fell on a step, hit his head, and needed to get stitches. Luckily, that was at the end of our visit there. So I think just the excitement and adrenaline just got to them. Miss Annabella took him to the hospital. After first aid was applied at the planetarium, the staff there at the planetarium was great. They had a first aid kit ready with all the equipment that we needed to assist Miss Annabella to take Luke to the hospital. They could also tell us that it was safe to take him. We proceeded in calling Luke's parents to ask permission to take him to the hospital, which delayed our departure by quite a bit, but it's necessary to ensure that we take all the right steps. I would next time prefer to have another staff member, as on the way back there was only one teacher on the bus back, which if something else had happened, we would have not have a teacher on the bus, or we would have had to wait for parents to come and pick up their kid before we could leave. So thank you so much everyone for listening. I hope this will help us in the future in planning our